think that like the government is like hunting down monsters? Like, do you think they're hunting down behind our backs, like either in the forest and the oceans and the freaking?
I think there's like creatures that we weren't supposed to know about that were probably sometimes extinct, and then keeping them in a lab, trying to run tests on them, maybe trying to reproduce them.
Nah, I think there's a lot. They did a lot of like experiments that got like set free, like into the woods and like that. But also there was like a bomb testing off the coast of like Florida, and it was like a 40,000 ton bomb, and they dropped it in the water. I think that cost like millions of dollars, and they said, oh, we're just testing the durability of our ships. But then they seen a picture, and the ship was behind the bomb, so the bomb didn't hit the ship. So they was wondering why they just like blew up like random, like they
water.
They blew up random water. They killed hella wildlife for no reason, and they say something came up from like the bottom of the ocean. It was like coming towards Florida. Like, why would you just drop that in the ocean for no reason? You know how much money that is?
No, they knew what they were doing. I feel like they were probably trying to attract something.
I don't know. And then like, you know how they be talking about like monsters and like the little folklore, like the Native Americans talk about seeing these things like in the woods.
I feel like them ancestors that be seeing all that random animal dumb are real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would they just talk about that?
I feel like my ancestors, because they don't got like, you know, we got access to all these random like resources to make look real, make fake. I feel like when they were saying that shit back in the day, like yo, and they drew that out, that was dead there.
What they don't tell you about the Social Security number, part 2. Hey, this one gonna be real heavy, so I need y'all to share this one out. You see these? You see these cows? They're all tagged with the number. You know, sort of like how humans are tagged with the Social Security number. And notice, they call them livestock. So let's look up the etymology of livestock real quick. Livestock is defined as domestic animals kept for use or profit. So in part 1, I proved to you how U.S. citizens are collateralized debt slaves for the U.S. national debt. So in this video, I'm going to show you how they've slowly been indoctrinating us into all these animal terms and how they really view us for use and for profit. So one of the most commonly used innocent words that we say every day is this word kid. And as you see, a kid is defined as a young goat. And I'm not talking about the greatest of all time. Now this word might get me in trouble because you know how they're ultra sensitive about this word nowadays. But let's see what this is really defined as. Pertaining to a cow.
You remember when they were saying that the world was going to end in 2012?
For sure, dude.
What if the world actually ended in 2016? Because you remember the peak of like life was so good in 2016, right? Like everything was going good, rap was doing good, the cartoons were doing good, bro. All the shows, we were kids chilling. We all currently look. That's why everything gets progressively worse every year. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So a lot of you guys want to know, why isn't anyone outside of our dome trying to help us? But the thing is, they are trying. This land right here, called the Ancestral Republic, is full of humans that actually escaped one of the resets that the custodians and Anunnaki placed upon Earth. The ancestral humans of the Republic are actively trying to free us inside the known lands. As you can see, there's an entrance here, and there's many more portals to get into the known lands and out. But every time a being from the Ancestral Republic tries to enter into the known land, it sets off an earthquake. The custodians and Anunnaki have such a tight surveillance system, anytime a being tries to enter into our dome, it sets off small or large earthquakes in the surrounding areas. So the beings from the Ancestral Republic can't get in through the entrances, so they're trying to figure out a way to make their own entrance, which so far they haven't figured out. They don't have the technology to penetrate the dome like the custodians and Anunnaki did. All of the portals to the known lands are guarded heavily by custodians. What does custodian mean? A person who has responsibility for taking care or protecting something. They are not taking care of us, and they are not protecting us. They are keeping us prisoners. Us humans don't even know our potential because of them. The Ancestral Republic are currently using technology that they got from the giants to try to figure out a way to melt the ice wall without causing floods. The entryway that they are trying to create is called the Summer Portal, but they haven't been successful yet. Another issue that the Ancestral Republic is facing is the fact that humans are so conditioned. They want to tell us about all the other lands. They want to teach us about spiritual growth and our true past. But they know they're going to be faced with a lot of negativity and hate due to our conditioning. So they really can't even help us unless we just all unite and develop ourselves as a race and acknowledge that there is another reality outside of our ice wall. We could be going on expeditions going past the ice wall, but the custodians are generating fear or straight up military intervention. Like, they forcefully will not let us leave. Now, I'm gonna end this video with the clip from one of my favorite content creators because he is speaking straight facts.
When a more advanced civilization meets a less advanced civilization, the advanced civilization becomes deified. That's why a lot of these advanced civilizations have something called a prime directive. Do not interfere with this civilization. They're not ready for us yet. We can influence them in ways that will destroy their growth, their conscious growth. It already happened. The Anunnaki violated that, and they wrote about it. They actually wrote about it. They said that what we did here was so bad and so wrong that we're gonna have to answer to the creator of all. So even they knew that there's a creator, but they told the people on the planet they were God.
You know, I can relate to him a lot, like, because that happened to me. Anyway, so, like, basically he got whacked too, because his mind control was breaking down, and he was waking up and speaking the truth, because when you wake up and you speak the truth, and you see it, like, you know, and they don't want him to influence the masses, you know, and, so they're probably gonna reprogram his ass, and, like, you know, he's not suffering any, I'm pretty sure he's not suffering any mental psychosis breakdown or whatever, because that's what they did to me a long time ago, talking about, like, making me look crazy, like, you know, but actually I was just waking up from the fucking Zog machine, you know. So, okay, this also goes, to Britney Spears, for instance. She also was trying to break free from her mind control, why she was acting so strange, and why she shaved off her head, and why she kept telling reporters that she just wanted them to stop touching her. So she was just trying to break free, but unfortunately, she wasn't strong enough, and God bless her, so I love her. I've always been a fan. But they were able to get her back and put her in quote-unquote rehab, meaning to reprogram her to be able to control her again. So that's why after that you see her acting kind of aloof all the time, kind of spacey, you know, because she's still under their control. So once they're able to reprogram you, once you try to break free, then they'll control you forever. If they're not able to control you and reprogram you when you're trying to break free, then they kill you. Like Marilyn, like so many people. You know,
Government worker talks about tall white extraterrestrials living amongst us in Ontario, Canada. I've spotted these beings before.
Tell us about these tall whites they're seen in Ontario and in other parts of the planet. I don't know if you know about this, but these tall whites have been seen in public.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Is that an extraterrestrial?
Yeah. My understanding is they're a hybrid, offshoots of the Zeta Reticulans, and that they created a human Zeta hybrid that are, again, these tall whites that are an intermediary for them. They can be friendly, but apparently they're kind of hypersensitive, and so you can find yourself, you know, on the wrong end of a beam weapon if you offend them or step on someone's toes or step in their path the wrong way or standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. They have some weird social protocols that my understanding people who interact with them on a regular basis have to be very clearly briefed upon, or serious injury could befall them.
How many hybrids do you think are actually out there on the surface?
That's got to be in the tens of thousands or upwards of 100,000 or more. I wouldn't have specific numbers on that right now, but it's got to be a lot.
Okay, so I actually live in Ontario, Canada, and I've spotted people like this before. When I first saw these people, I was like, damn, that's a really tall white person, really white and really good looking. But what called me first was their energy. It was so unworldly. It's like, I knew right away they couldn't be from here, but I automatically thought, okay, maybe starseed, right? But as I started looking into extraterrestrials more, I was like, these people match the description of what I've been studying. I saw one at Lime Ridge Mall, and then I saw one at Home Hardware in Hamilton. And the crazy part is, he says if you spot one, they'll either hunt you down psychically or they'll let you know that you got them. And with me, it was with a smile. They both, even though it was on different days, they both gave me this corner smile and like telepathic message. It was so weird. It's so hard to explain. And they knew I caught them because I am so sensitive to energy. I could not stop staring at them. I was like, yo, like this guy's so unworldly. And he was already looking at me with that corner smile, like he knew that I was gonna know. I've had more experiences with these people, but the fact that government officials have come out and said that beings like this are publicly seen in Ontario is wild. Subscribe to my YouTube if you want to hear more stories like this.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in dragons or dinosaurs? Creation or evolution? There's been many tales about dragons, but they all get labeled as being a myth, even though we've been told many times that St. George killed a dragon. Even the Bible talks about dragons, but it never mentions dinosaurs. So now let's talk about dinosaurs and evolution. So allegedly, 56 million years ago, dinosaurs lived on this earth, but there was no humans. So what I want to know is, where did we get all this documentation from? How do you know what they was eating and what they looked like if there was no humans even there? And it's the same thing with evolution. You're trying to tell me that we once was a fish that evolved into a monkey, then evolved into a human. Okay, makes sense. But the only problem is, the fish is still a fish and a monkey is still a monkey. Why is nobody changing now? So basically what I'm trying to say is, what I think is dinosaurs are really dragons.
The scientifically accepted theory is that dreams are a way for your brain to organize or calibrate your memories. But I've been getting a lot of messages from a growing population of people that are starting to believe that dreams may be much more than this. Some people have theorized that dreams reveal future or past events, stating that they've dreamed about something that came true a day or a week later, or dreamed about something in the past that they never learned before that turned out to be true when they researched it. Others believe that when you dream, you go into an entirely different dimension or alternate reality where you live a life completely separate from the one that you live when you're awake. Now, both those theories are wild yet interesting, and I could go into detail about them in different videos. But there's a third theory that I want to go over that caught my attention. This theory states that as each of us go on with our everyday lives, we encounter things like angels, demons, and high levels of human emotions that our consciousness can't pick up on. However, our subconscious picks up on all of this, and when we dream, it materializes in the way that our brain can process it. Now, this theory sticks out to me because I was researching melatonin, which helps with your internal clock and sleep. And it turns out that people that have taken extra melatonin to help them sleep have reported having intense dreams or nightmares. And the part of the brain that's responsible for producing melatonin naturally is the pineal gland, also nicknamed the third eye, which for thousands of years has been rumored to be a key to seeing into the supernatural or spiritual world. Leave a like if you want me to go deeper on this.
Did you know that Jeffrey Epstein was not the first case of an elite human trafficker's client list being covered up? Meet Mark Dutroux. Him and his wife, Michelle Martin, would kidnap children as young as 8 years old, bring them back to their apartment complex, beat them, rape them, and kill them, and sometimes traffic them all over the world. And he even had private parties, and one of the victims said it was with the richest and most elite in Belgium and in the world. And these parties would take place at one of the 3,000 castles in Belgium, and they'd have hunting parties where they would beat the children, strip them naked, and give them a head start and let them run into the forest or across the grounds, and they'd try to hunt them down, calling this the world's most dangerous game. And if they couldn't find them, they'd be hunted down by Dobermans and mauled to death. None of the names of any of these people were released, even though he was convicted. What do you think?
Every person has an aura or an energy around them, and you can learn to feel that energy. As you start talking to them and they carry on a conversation with you, really you can feel the energy that's coming from them. Now, how do you do that? By focusing all of your attention on them. Now, that may be hard to do, because until we really get comfortable with ourselves, we're wondering, what do they think of me? Whenever you're talking to somebody, give them your undivided attention. And if you do that, you're going to start to feel things. You'll start to feel their energy. If there's a shift in their mood like that, you'll know it. That's your intuition. Now that's how you develop your intuition. And you're giving them your undivided attention. Say, what am I feeling? And start to get used to what do you feel? Not what do you hear, what do you feel? Really listen to them. Listen carefully. Now you hear with your ears, but you listen with your emotions. You've got to let yourself get very emotionally involved in what they're saying. If a person's upset about something and they have a smile on their face and talking to you, you know there's something wrong. It's your intuition that picks that up. Intuition picks up feeling. Feeling is vibration. And you got to get used to and good at using it, and you can.